Hello, survivors. Side Hustle Survivalist here. Hey, today I'm bringing you a new young entrepreneur series today. So today I have with me Whitney Thornbrough. And Whitney started out as a side hustle that went into a full-time business. And now Whitney is a mobile RV tech, correct? Full-time. Kind of tell us how that procedure started, Whitney. What were you before?
Went to school early on in my career to be a radiology. So worked hard at that, did a director radiology job for the last 13 years. I was in medical for over 20 in radiology. And about 3 years ago, I bought another RV because we liked RVing with a big family. And it had a lot of bells and whistles, the solar and the inverters and all this stuff. I decided I wanted to go to school to learn how to work on some of that stuff. And it was just a 1 week kind of class to go over some of the basics. And I went down there and I had no idea it had such a lucrative business behind it. I just wanted to know how to work on my own RV. And so went down there.
This was in Texas.
In Texas, yeah, Athens, Texas. Started doing some classes, and I was already kind of the DIY fix-it guy on the side anyway. So went down there, took some classes. They actually had some business classes rolled in with it. So we came back home. We did a week. We came back home, and we thought about it a little bit. And the medical field, as you all know, going into 2019, 2020, all this stuff is absolute chaos at this moment. And we decided to go down and do 2 more classes and start a little business just on the things that we knew how to work on. So we literally put the Google ad on, and it was about 3 hours later we got our first phone call after we turned it on. And not even an ad, it was just so we could be seen on Google.
On Google?
On Google.
Okay.
So boom, I mean, from that moment on, we pretty much got a phone call every day or so, and we didn't have anything going. It was just...
Now, you still had your full-time job at this time as a radiologist.
Still had a full-time job for quite a bit longer, actually.
And so you did these jobs after hours?
Work.
After hours.
Usually after about 5 p.m., I would go out and start fixing at least maybe like 1, sometimes 2 jobs after work. So just kind of like you said, a little side hustle. And it got to the point after we started doing it for 4, 5, 6 months, we really started looking into it as a possible career, but we still didn't know. And so we went back and took a class or 2 more. And then at this point, I'm so close to being certified and full on registered, or everything for, all everything on the RV. So
now, is that across the board with all RVs or just certain brands?
No, all RVs.
All RVs.
All RVs.
Because they all have kind of the same setup. And you have to have a certification, correct?
You need to have a certification because there are a lot of people out there, handyman type people that
kind of like you started out, just a do-it-yourself guy.
So yeah, a do-it-myself guy, but at the very beginning, you can actually get registered, which is 1 week and you're at least registered. You can do winterizations, AC cleaning, little stuff like that you can do. So you still have a little bit of a title behind your name, but you have to, there's 4 more weeks after that of training to get certified.
So let me ask you this, is the reason you get certified and or registration, does it all boil down to the customer, the client, being able to get his warranty repair to get paid back for warranty? Because if it's just a do-it-yourselfer,
right,
and he tries to turn it in, they may say, no, you had to have it. Do the RV companies come back and say, you have to have a certified XYZ person do this for you?
I haven't heard that exactly, but a lot of times they do ask about the business. They'll Google your business, and then they'll go on your own page and look you up. So there are some people out there. I know it's leaning towards that way in the future. There's accreditation right now. Pretty soon, if you don't have the accreditation, I don't believe you're going to be able to work on RVs pretty soon.
Okay.
But as it stands right now, there's nothing out there. There's no regulatory documents or police out there, saying
no RV police.
No RV police out there knocking down your door and saying you can't work on anything.
Okay. But I'm just thinking about, since I own an RV too, is that if I did something on my RV and say it cost me $1,000,
right,
can I call up where I purchased it from and say, hey, I did this much on it? And they would probably say, well, that's on you. You don't get paid. Me as a client, I don't get return on my money. Whereas if I hired you
right,
to do it, then I turn your paperwork in then they would pay me. Is that the way it kind of works?
Usually that's the way it works. So
Okay.
each manufacturer is a little bit different. There's some good ones out there. There's some bad ones out there. Some of them will burn you. So warranty work is quite difficult. So as a policy, most people that I know that are in the same business, most of them will do the work, make the customer pay, then we will give all the information and documentation to the customer.
So it's between the customer and the company.
Exactly.
Not between you.
Because it costs us so much legwork and time and on the computer, on the phone,
Right.
all these emails back and forth. And
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. And if I ever do warranty work, it's going to cost almost double to you because of that. It's a 1 hour job might turn into 10 hours of work.
Right.
It's not worth that.
1 hour physical work, 9 hours of paperwork on the backside.
Exactly. And it's just not worth that.
Okay.
I would rather let the customer and the manufacturer.
Now, when you were kind of going through this whole process in your brain, you set your business up as a company, correct?
We did.
Did you get it, or did you incorporate it, or are you still using it as a sole?
LLC.
Okay, so you did set. So again, everybody we've done on these young entrepreneurs, what's the first step that they do? It is setting up an LLC.
Exactly.
So you did all the back leg work of setting up the LLC. Insurances, you probably had a special type of insurance.
Yep.
What type did you have to have? Just a liability?
Yeah, a $2 million liability.
$2 million liability.
Because a lot of the
insurance.
rigs that we work on, if you work on these higher end Class A's, they're $1 million coaches all day
Right.
long. Some of them are more. Most of them are less. We don't.
So
see
you want to
those
make
too
sure you have your insurance in
often.
place
You want to make sure you have
to
your
cover
insurance.
you.
Exactly.
All right. So he did all that. And whenever you're putting a business plan together, everybody, is that you have to take all these into consideration. So I would imagine that when Whitney goes and does a job, here's his set labor time, and then he probably has a percentage to help pay for the LLC, your lawyer, your corporation, your overhead. That's what we call it in the business world. You have your overhead costs.
Correct.
So you have a certain percentage that you add on for overhead, and then you bill your customer, and then that's it.
Exactly.
And you make a profit. He's not in this to just be the good old boy. The whole purpose behind having the business, the number one reason, is to make a profit. And so now, back to your timeline, you were a radiologist, and you've gotten so busy. And here's the other thing, everybody. Did you hear that he said that he worked his job till 5 o'clock, and then he went and did these other jobs? And he has a large family, but you were probably getting home well after dark a lot of the times, right?
Oh yeah, because a lot of this we really started in the winter months is when we launched the business.
Oh,
So
yeah,
there was a
so-
lot of furnaces. Sun went down at 6
5, yeah.
whatever, So yeah, I was working in the dark most of these jobs when I started up.
And he get home in the dark, eat a little supper, go to bed, get back up and go to his regular job. And it probably kind of wears on you after a while.
It's not an easy thing.
It's not an easy thing, but here's the whole point I'm getting at, is that he had work ethic. He had the diligency to go after it, to find something better than what he was doing to provide for his family. But money wasn't the main motivating factor. It was being able to, because you work from your home now.
Exactly.
And it's being able to be with his family and to work with his home. And if I understand right, your oldest daughter may go with you on some of these jobs and kind of help out. You get to have the father-daughter time.
Yep.
I mean, there's not enough money in the world to pay for that type of experience and everything.
Right.
And now that you quit your radiology job, and now you do this full time. But here's the great thing about owning your own business. He can set his own hours, right? If he wants to sleep in on Tuesday morning, then he's going to schedule it where he can sleep in, and then he can work. But then he only works if I only want to work till 3 o'clock in the afternoon, then here's my time frame to do my jobs in between. The rest of the time is my family time, personal time, whatever it may be. So owning your own business is free.